All right, everyone, as you know, I am not here today because of the blood drive, which I am organizing. So while I'm gone running that event, you have a substitute teacher today. So please make sure that you are being kind, patient, and respectful to our substitutes, and make sure you're honoring our class contract in their presence. Like I've said before, there's no greater test of a teacher than how students behave when she is away. So please represent our class well and be respectful to our sub and do anything she asks you to do. I did want to give you kind of an overview of our agenda for today. I wanted you to start for about 15 minutes today at the beginning of our hour to be reading of Mice and Men. During that time, make sure there's no cell phones, no laptops, no technology. However, English 1, 6th hour, you are allowed to put in headphones to listen to the audiobook of Mice and Men if you so choose, but you should not be listening to other music or doing anything else with technology, as it will impede your reading comprehension. After those 15 minutes, spend about 5 minutes adding a thought log entry to your writer's notebook. Some things I want you to consider is, why is the setting so descriptive? Maybe explore some possible reasons for that. Don't just say it's important. Think about, why is the setting important? How does it shape the characters? Second, how does George show that he actually cares about Lenny? Maybe find a quote or something George says to prove that George, even though he's tough on Lenny, he's kind of mean, he does actually care for him. Third, notice the connection between Lenny and animals. Not only does Lenny love animals, but he's often described like an animal. If you notice in the beginning, John Steinbeck calls Lenny's hand a paw. That's intentional. Maybe look for other examples of how Lenny's being compared to animals, and begin exploring the reasons why you think the author chose to do that. Next, any new characters you've come across. I think the first one you'll meet is Candy. He's an old man that works on the ranch, the boss as well. So those are some important characters that'll play as witnesses to the trial, so begin taking notes over them. After those 5 minutes of your thought log entry, pre-AP students, you're going to move into grammar practice. 6th hour English students, you'll begin to work on the intellectual disabilities packet, which your substitute has available for you. Pre-AP students, remember you're on Microsoft Teams or No Red Ink, doing that individualized grammar practice, again for about 15 minutes. And then everyone else, after the 15 minutes of grammar practice for pre-AP, we're working on our intellectual disabilities packet, where we're learning about some legal terms in the court of law to prepare for our mock trial. So what does it mean to be intellectually disabled in a court of law? What kind of punishments, including the death penalty, can people with intellectual disabilities receive? So there's questions in that packet that you'll need to answer. Do your best to finish the entire packet, including listening to the podcast, by the end of the hour. So at that point, once you get to the podcast on pages 6 and 7, you can insert headphones and begin listening to that. This is self-paced. Make sure that you're on task, working hard, and being, again, kind and respectful to our substitute. Your only homework tonight is to read of Mice and Men and add some thought log entries. Okay? Thanks, and email me if you have questions.